ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. So welcome to our second morning session. First of all, I wish everyone a very happy Janmashtami. The lessons of Bhagavad Gita were imparted by that great soul who took birth on this day long time back in history. So we pay our respect to him. We pray that he gives us blessings and we are able to imbibe the knowledge he gave in the form of Bhagavad Gita. And now we will start with mantra number 5 of Mundak, part 2, second Mundak, part 2. Now we saw so far that the two facts became very clear, that the whole universe is nothing but the Supreme. That is the word they have used. Purus ev idam viswam. That is the word which was used. That the entire Viswa, the entire universe is nothing but Purus. Purus he. Ev means he. Bhi nahi, he. The entire universe is sirf Purus ही है, सिर्फ सुप्रीम ही है. That is one. Secondly, that Supreme is also living in our heart. That is called Guhachar. There is a place in the heart where the Supreme is residing in each one of us. So that is the second truth which has been revealed here. And then we were told how to approach that. So the example of arrow and bow was given, and it said that the bow is pranav, that is the onkar, and the arrow is your mind and your soul. So you have to put your mind and soul together, use the bow of onkar and fire it towards the Supreme, the Akshar, the Parmeshwar, the Brahman. And that is the way we should, do our sadhana. That we put together our heart and our mind, our Atma and our mind, and using the arrow, not arrow, but the arrow of Onkar, not arrow, the Dhanush of Onkar, and then we should fire it towards the Supreme. So that is one way of explaining how we should concentrate in our sadhana. The sadhana should be based on these kind of regular practices. That is first part we have seen in mantras 3 and 4. Now we'll take mantra number 5, 6 and 7 today. The 5 reads like this: Yasmin do prathvi chantriks otam man se pranesh sarve. Now it is saying that the entire Swarg, Do is Swarg, Prathvi, the earth, Antriks, the entire space which is surrounding us, or Akash, and all the space anywhere in between them, all of these are Otam. They are completely dissolved into the Supreme. And so is the case of mind and pran, man and pran. So it says that all these are basically oth-proth in the Supreme. Now, a similar expression has been given in Bhagavad Gita. It is verse number 7 of chapter 7, which reads like this, the second part: मयि सर्व मितम ओतम सूत्रे मणि गवा इव, which means the संपूर्ण जगत सूत्र में सूत्र के मणियों की सदृश मुझ में गुथा हुआ है. That oath, the word otam or protam, is basically that they are completely dissolved into me. Like there's another example in Bhagavad Gita that, like in ice, there is nothing but water. Similarly, in the entire universe, there is nothing but the Supreme. The same sense has been used here. Since the word oath and proth has come in both, and the meaning is exactly almost identical. That is why I thought I'll refer to this, mantra 7 of chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, which basically expresses the same concept as mentioned in the first part of this mantra. Yasmin do prithvi chantriks motam manah se pranesh sarve. Man, pran, prithvi, swarg, antriksh, and the space in between, everything is oth-proth in the Supreme. So that is what it says, that there is nothing but Supreme all around us. And then it goes further down. Tame vekam janat atmanya manya. Then it says that उसी एक आत्मरूप परमेश्वर को, उसी एक आत्मरूप परमेश्वर को जानत, जानो, अन्यथा दूसरी सब बातें छोड़ दो. Now this is the crux, that leave aside all other things. You should concentrate knowing only that Supreme which is located in your heart, and connect that Supreme from your heart to the Supreme located in the universal soul. So the individual soul and the universal soul, they should unite, and that unity will happen only when we use the arrow and bow as mentioned in the previous mantras. That we use Om as bow, we use Atma and mind as arrow, and the mission in front of us is to know the Supreme. So here this is very important. Tam ev ekam atmanam, that सिर्फ उसी को जानो, जानत, that एक आत्मा जो है सिर्फ उसी को जानो. The objective should be to know only one single thing. And that was the question which was asked in the beginning of this Upanishad by Saunaka Rishi to Angiras Rishi. So he is coming back to that question again, that you have to know only that one single thing. Anyatha, vach vimusta, everything else you leave aside. Don't even talk about those things. Those are not going to help you. That is what it says. If you want to build a setu of Amrit, then you can build that setu through concentrating yourself only with one, that Supreme, and not the rest of the universe. Rest of the universe was also mentioned in this Upanishad earlier, was created by our karma. The karma we do, they create all kinds of diversity out of singularity. That we see every single day, that we create new materials, and we create aircrafts, and we create cars, and we create, robots now, and we create, these submarines, and we create missiles. These are all creation of our karma. We do those actions. We apply our, intellectual power and do the action, and we create all this diversity ourselves. The diversity is not the creation by the Supreme. The Supreme is one pervading everything, but the humans, they create this diversity through their efforts, their karmas. That is what was explained earlier. So it is saying that don't get completely inundated in this diversity. Uh, Take away from, don't talk too much about diversity, talk and concentrate yourself only on the Supreme, which is located in your heart. Now, the next verse will be telling us how we connect the Supreme here and the Supreme in the universal form. Now it says, Ara iv rathnabo sanhata yatra nadiya. Now this is very interesting. In fact, this is not, the next one will explain the connecting part, but this is very interesting mantra here. As we see Rath ki nabhi mein, all the araj, all those spikes are connected. And those spikes work and they are supported by the axis of Rath, by the Navi, by the axis. Exactly the same way, the entire body parts in our body system are connected to that axis which is located in the guhachar, which is located in our heart. So the entire body system, all the parts, whether our eyes, whether our ears, nostrils, speech, our digestive system, our system to discard the waste, our movement, our functioning of the different organs of the body, they are all connected like the spikes to the guhachar, to that consciousness located in the heart. Now, this is very clear because as soon as the consciousness leaves the body, all these instruments become useless. So, it is exactly the way like the axis of a wheel. The axis leaves, the wheel completely gets dismantled. It cannot function anymore. Exactly the same way the body functions because of that axis. That axis is regulated by the consciousness located in our heart. So this is very important to understand our body system, our activities which we perform, our sense organs, functioning of those sense organs, and all the body parts and organs, how they function. So let's see it once again. Ara vratnabho saheta yatra nadiye se eso antrakshe bahuda jaiman. Then in the second part, it says, Omityam dhyatam atmanam swasti va paray tamse parastat. That इस सर्वात्म परमात्मा का ओम इस नाम के द्वारा ध्यान करो. ओम ओमितमेव, that Om is the crux. Like when we say elephant, an image of elephant comes in our mind immediately. When we say horse, the image of horse comes in my mind. When I say Rajesh, the image of Rajesh comes to my mind. But the image of Paramatma does not come into my mind. The Atma does not come into mind. And that is why it says we have to concentrate on Om. Om is the image of that Paramatma. So we should concentrate on that image of Om. And then you will automatically get connected to the Supreme. So Om is very, very important. That is what also the Mandukya Upanishad said. And now Mundaka Upanishad is saying. And I saw all the Upanishads, in fact, they talk about Pranav and Om. So the Om is the fundamental expression of the Supreme. And once we have that construct in our mind, and we are able to recite it in our mind time and again, then that construct will convert into Paramatma. and it will help us in connecting our soul with the Paramatma. So it says basically that इस परमात्मा का ओम इस नाम के द्वारा ध्यान करो, अज्ञान में अंधकार से अतीत भव सागर से अंतिम तट तक पुरुषोत्तम की प्राप्ति के लिए तुम लोग कल्याण करो. So in Sanskrit it reads like this: ओमित्यव्यम ध्यायथ आत्मनम स्वस्ति व पराय तमसे परस्तात. So here this is very important for sadhana, that we have to concentrate on the word Om. Like when we talk about elephant and we get that image of elephant in our mind, similarly, once we start reciting Om in our mind, we will get, the feeling. It will not be an image, but it will get a feeling, a sense of Paramatma. And that will help us in connecting with him directly. So basically, that is one method of sadhana, which was also mentioned in the mantras 3 and 4, that we use pranav as arrow and atma as bow. Pranav as bow and atma as arrow, atma and mind as arrow, and then we concentrate on the supreme. Similarly here, that this word Om is the most practical way to concentrate to reach the supreme. So we should leave aside everything else. That is what was said in the previous mantra, that don't think too much about anything else. The diversity is created by the human being, and that diversity is infinite. You can never understand it fully. The best way is to concentrate on that one single power, which actually led to this diversity through human actions. So this is mantra number 6. Now mantra number 7. Ye sarvagya sarvvid yayashya mahima bhuvi. Ye sarvagya, that he is sarvagya, he knows everything. Omnipresent, omniscient. Sarvavid, that he knows everything possible in this universe. सर्वदा जानने वाला और सब साइड से जानने वाला. Now Sarvvid and Sarvagya basically combined together is omniscient, that he is the supreme, he knows everything, whatever is happening. So we don't have to worry about this universe. Sometimes we worry about the universe, we often do that. What will happen? For example, we are talking what happens in Ukraine, Putin and Trump, they met last night, and will it? So, of course, in the worldly sense, we talk about these things, but we don't have to get too much involved into this, because this is a theater in which all kinds of things are happening, and those happenings will continue. We should understand the power behind all these happenings, and that power behind all these happenings is the supreme, is the Brahman, is the Akshar, is Paramatma, Parameswar, and he knows everything whatever is happening here. And therefore yashasya mahima bhuvi, and therefore we should keep talking about him. We should keep उनकी महिमा की गाथा करते रहें. We should keep telling about the great power of the Supreme. Divya Brahma Pure Hos Vyomatma Pratishtha. Now this is where the location of the Supreme is. The difference between Jivatma and Paramatma is mentioned here. That ये प्रसिद्ध सबका आत्मा परमेश्वर दिव्य आकाश रूप ब्रह्म लोक में स्थित है. Divya Brahma Pure Vyomatma Pratisthita. That in this entire space which is surrounding everything, that is the place where he is living. That is also called Brahmapuri, Brahma ki Puri. That is the place of the Brahma. So he is Vyom. Why we call Akash Vyom? There's another word for it, Vyom. Because it is completely pervaded by the Supreme. That's why it's called Vyom. So this whole infinite Akash is pervaded by the Supreme, and we should understand that. So, on the one hand, we have Guhachar, on the other hand, we have Brahmapure, Divya Brahmapure, which is, pervading the entire space, entire Akash. Now, Manomaya Pran Sharir Neta, Pratishthan Tanto Hridaya Sannidhai. Now, it again tells us that Manomaya, मन के, with the help of our mind, and हृदय सनिधाय, taking the support of the heart and the consciousness sitting in the heart. We should use the mind and the heart with the consciousness located inside. And then Annamaya Sthul Sarir, we should also use this body to understand and to direct our attention to the Supreme. So now it is further expanding that we should use our body, we should use our heart and our consciousness located in the heart, and we should use our mind, and we should concentrate on that Supreme Force which is pervading the Brahmapuri, which is pervading the entire Akash surrounding whole of this universe. So this is what it says, and that is should be your sadhana. That body, mind, heart, all the three should get united, and they should be dedicated to the Supreme. Then it says, Ananda Swarupam, Ananda Swarupam, Amritam, that Supreme is Ananda Swarup, that Supreme is Amritam, that is, of course, without birth and death. Vibhati, Vibhati means which is, enlightening everything, which gives you light, which takes away all the darkness from this universe, which is the sign both the physical darkness as well as the darkness in our mind and in our hearts. All that is removed. So that is Vibhati, which is, giving enlightenment everywhere. So he is Anand Swarup, he is Amritam, he is Vibhati, and Dhir Purush. Dhir Purush jo hain, the people with have lot of patience and lot of knowledge, all those people, they try to understand paripashyanti, tat paripashyanti, वे उस परमात्मा को, tat is always reference to the Paramatma. In Bhagavad Gita in chapter 7, we have seen 3 names of Paramatma: Sat, Tat, and Atma. So all these 3 names are names of Paramatma. So Tat is basically used when in the third person, when we are referring to the Supreme. So Tat is very important here. Tat Dhira Vigyanin Paripashyanti. So the Dhir Purus, Gyan ke dwara, after acquiring that knowledge, they try to see that Supreme. They try to understand that Supreme. They try to grasp the image of the Supreme by using Om as an instrument. And then we have to apply body, our heart, and our mind, and the consciousness sitting in the heart. All these things have to be applied to understand that. So, this is the way the sadhana has to be done. And then, two things which have come here. One is that don't get involved too much into everything else. Concentrate only on the Supreme. And everything else is the creation of our karma. The multiplicity has come out of karmas. So don't get involved into that multiplicity. Try to understand that one single force, which is the foundation, which is the support of all that exists in this universe. So this is how these three mantras tell us how we can actually uh, understand the Supreme, how we can do sadhana, and how we can move forward. Now, we'll take one question which Tarun had sent on the group. I'll read it now. Higher knowledge means not the connection between the knower and the known, but the knowledge of the knower himself without any relation or medium between the knower and the known in the form of cognition or awareness. Now, you see, we have this fundamental concept of neti neti, that anything which we can see or we can hear or we can feel, you can discard that. Neti neti, that okay, I can see Tarun, so Tarun is not he. I can see this building, so that building is not he. I can see my hand, so my hand is not me. I can even, think about my mind, because mind I can see, even when I concentrate, I can even see my mind and how it is moving from one place to another. So neti neti, that is also not he. Ultimately, you will reach through this principle to one single source, which is the subject. Nothing else but the subject. There's no object left anymore. And that subject, that is the backward journey, a journey from this world to our inner self. Through eliminating through neti neti, whatever we see is an object. Whatever we hear is an object. Whatever we can feel is an object. And through that elimination process, we come to the inner self. That inner self is the real subject. Like I can see my eyes, I can feel my eyes. So my eyes are not me. I can feel my face, I can see my face. So my face is not me. That is the object. I can even see my mind moving here and there. Therefore, my mind is not me. So that neti neti principle tells us that ultimately what the three Sanskrit words are: Gyan, Ge, and Gyata. Gyan, the knowledge. Gyata is the person who is trying to know. And Ge is the process of knowing. So Gyan, Ge, and Gyata, they become one. They become united. And that one unity is called the real knowledge. And that is what was explained in mantra number 6 here. That example of axis, that there's an axis in the body to which is connected to all the through the spokes to all the organs and parts of the body, and that axis is static. All the parts are moving, our hands are moving, our tongue is moving, our feet are moving, our mind is moving, our body is moving, our inner organs are moving, but that axis remains static. Like in the car wheel, the axis remains static. Once that axis starts moving, the car collapses, the wheel collapses. Similarly, here the axis is static, everything is connected with that. The same way, everything is connected with you, inner self, your inner self. And that inner self is the core, is the foundation of all that we need to know. And through the Gyata, sorry, that is the Gyata, Gyan and Ge ultimately should lead there, and they should unite with that Gyata. That Gyata is the supreme sitting inside us. Because through that only we know things. वो हमने एक शब्द पहले देखा था, प्रकाशित होती हैं सब चीजें अपने आत्मा के द्वारा ही हमारे अंदर प्रकाशित होती हैं. दे they come into our in the existence only through our consciousness. Like in the deep sleep, we are, our atma becomes dormant, and that time this whole universe disappears, including our body, including our mind, including the bed on which we are sleeping. We don't know anything about that. At that time, there's no akash, there is no sun, there's no moon, there are no stars, there are no buildings, no home, no bed, no body, no hand, no eyes, nothing. Nothing exists. Because that time the Atma is dormant. So the Atma जब प्रकाशित करती है किसी चीज को, then only we realize that thing. So everything happens inside that guhachar, where everything actually appears, or everything gets, the best word is prakashit, जहां पे वो प्रकाशित होती हैं सब चीजें. ये घर भी वहीं प्रकाशित होता है, ये कंट्री भी वहीं प्रकाशित होती है जब आप सोचते हैं, और ये गांव भी वहीं प्रकाशित होता है, ये सड़कें भी वहीं प्रकाशित होती हैं, ये जानवर, ये पेड़ पौधे, ऑल दीज दे गेट वहीं प्रकाशित होते हैं. और वो जब प्रकाशित करने वाला चला जाता है तो सब खत्म हो जाता है. एवरीथिंग इज डिस्ट्रॉयड, एवरीथिंग इज नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट. एंड दैट इज व्हाई दिस इनर गुहाचर place, that soul which is sitting there, that is the root, that is the substance of our existence, that is the substance of our existence, and that is the substance of the existence of the whole universe. Once that leaves, the universe and you do not exist. So that is the point we have to understand, and that is what the Gyata, Ge and Gyan can lead us there ultimately. And then of course, there are two views in Upanishads also, that in some places the Atma and Paramatma have been treated identical. There's no difference between the two. But in this Upanishad, there is a difference between the two, and that will be clarified in Mundak 3 very clearly. Because it is already here. It says that Paramatma is living in Brahmapuri, and he is pervading the entire Akash, and Atma is living in the Guhachar in our heart. So the distinction is very clear here, but it will be further clarified when we move forward. So the difference is only of a drop and the ocean. That we are like, what we call Jivatma, so we are like a drop. We are what we call Ansi, Ans. And the Paramatma is Vibhu, that is, all pervading everywhere. So, but the substance is the same. Like the drop of the ocean water contains the same qualities as the entire ocean water. The same way this Jivatma contains all those qualities which are there in the Paramatma. So the distinction is only of the quantity, not of quality. But anyway, we are not so much concerned with that. What we are concerned is that we can use our inner self, our guhachar, our consciousness and our mind to understand and reach the Supreme using the instrument of pranav, using the instrument of Om. So this is how we have to do our sadhana on regular basis. We disengage from this world to the extent possible and concentrate only on the Supreme using our mind, our soul, and also our body. Thank you very much. And once again, very happy Janmashtami.